Hello and welcome to I'm Not Judging, but the podcast where we, three mums of school-aged kids, dive into the hilarious, chaotic and sometimes questionable world of modern parenting. I'm Briony May Williams.
I'm Charlie Fuge.
And I'm Vix Wilshire.
We're not experts and we're definitely not perfect, but we are in the thick of it just like you.
From birthday party politics to screen time battles, we're here to say the things you're thinking.
With a healthy dose of humour, honesty and absolutely no judgment. Well, maybe just a little.
Coming up on I'm Not Judging But today. And I was sat there on the other side of the hot tub, pretending not to pay attention, thinking, in my head thinking, this would be great for the podcast. I mean, it's one of those things that sometimes maybe you think, but surely you don't say that out loud, do you? Like, what do you think?
I mean, and also, it sounds like a conversation for home.
Yeah.
You know?
Before social media, you might have complained to your mate about it.
Yeah.
And then that would have been the end of it. But now it's like, I must put it on social media to get everyone else's opinion. And
this
like
is it, isn't
you
it?
said, and get clickbait and get some attention.
Yeah.
Do you really need to put it on social media?
Yeah.
Because if that family then sees it, they're going to feel pretty
family.
awful. And attendance at the minute is awful. You know, there's a national crisis. So telling kids they've got to go into school for longer.
Yeah.
Oh my
Can you
gosh,
imagine?
it would break
Yeah.
both of mine. It would absolutely break both of mine.
Hey, gorgeous girlies, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you doing?
All right. Yeah.
All right. Survived half term.
We survived half term. Although I tell you what, that first morning wake up was not fun.
Oh my God, no.
Nora was so unimpressed. It was like literally having a teenager. She's like, no, I don't want to get up. And I'm like,
No.
well, neither do I, but here we are.
Here we are
again.
Absolutely. Goodness.
How was everybody's half term? Did anybody do anything exciting, Charlie?
I went to the Bristol Light Festival and checked that one out. I've not gone before and we loved it actually. We went to the College Green where we saw the balloons. Yeah, and also a massive cat that was lying down and all lit up. That was really beautiful.
That looks so cool.
It was.
The pictures looked really cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. It was very cool. I really
Lush.
enjoyed
We're
it.
going to go next weekend, I think, for the last night.
Nice.
And I mean, really, the big question is, Vicky, has Matt worn his Valentine's Day t-shirt?
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
yes.
I gave it to him and he literally put it on straight away. He loved
Oh,
it.
yes, Matty.
He loved it. And Prim was like, I want one. She wants one with my face. So I think I'm going to have to do it.
Absolutely.
Oh, family
Everyone's getting
wear.
one. Family wear.
Oh, I love that.
it's
And
really
Chol,
cute.
how's lasagna gate?
Well, I did make a lasagna in half term.
Amazing.
And
Did Gareth eat it?
He did, but I gave him the look. The look like, you know, this is all you're getting.
Yeah.
There's no other option B. Yeah. But
Yeah.
he ate it all up.
Essentially what we say to the children.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
This is all you get. Deal with it.
Absolutely that.
We had a nice half term. It was quite chilled actually. We saw various friends and did various play dates. Although I do feel like Nora's play dates are getting slightly more elaborate. She'll be like, I want to do a spa day. And I'm like,
What?
So, yeah. I mean, spa day in inverted commas. So they like have face masks and they put their feet in a bucket of hot water. It's not even a foot bath. It's like literally our bucket that we use to mop the floors. We've obviously cleaned out. And then they have the face mask and they light a candle. And they have these spa, which is very sweet and very wholesome. But gone are the days where you can just get some Barbies out and they'll play with them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
they need...
Or some
that is
play
unacceptable
day.
now.
Yeah.
Some play, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. But I have to say, since I've said that I'm going to stop dyeing my hair, my greys, I swear they've all gone, woohoo, let's go. And
They
all just
heard
shot
you.
out all at once.
They've come out for a party.
They have literally in a week. I swear, my fringe, for anybody watching, can see, but it's
I
just so
love
much
it.
more like the greys are like, they're here. They're like, yeah, let's go.
I
Party
love
on.
it. You look great. You look
I know,
beautiful.
I love your new
Do I
hair.
look great? Thanks.
Amazing.
I'm not sure if I like it or not yet. It's going to be quite a hard pill to swallow, I think, like embracing the greys, because it's always been such a symbol of getting older, hasn't it? But I see people with their grey hair just looking sassy as shit, and I just want to look like that, you know?
Yeah.
I know.
That's what. So and
Since
I
we've
think
been
it suits the shag.
It does.
shag
It
haircut.
really
The haircut.
does. I've seen my algorithm is just throwing up loads of silver-haired ladies since we've been talking about.
Same.
Yeah, and they just look
Love that.
amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't know whether I'd be able to get like part that bit, because my hair's red and then it'll just come through dark, and
But
then
then you
it'll
can
just take years.
But then you can go for like a modern day purple rinse, couldn't you? Where you
do
could
that,
kind
actually.
of, like kind of
Yeah.
like
That would be
put
very
it all
me.
in and do a bit of that.
Purple rinse next, guys. Okay.
Oh my
Well, with the grey and
God.
the silver and the,
Love
modern
it.
day.
The old lady.
Yeah, shampoo and
purple.
set. Yeah.
Love
I'm
it.
here for that. I'm here for that. Also, after our last episode, me, Nora, and Steve all went to the gym together and went for a swim,
Lovely.
which was really, really nice. So thank you so much for the advice on that one. It was really lovely because I don't think I would have done it if we hadn't recorded that episode and talked about it. And then I was just like, why don't we just go and let's just go to the gym together.
nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
it was really nice.
Luscious.
So yeah, well, it was luscious. It was luscious. And I don't know if you've seen, but this is something exciting that's happened that really made me smile. Is obviously we all know Peppa Pig.
We do.
We do.
Yeah. They brought up my children. Yeah.
Well, even though some people might find it incredibly annoying because it's Peppa Pig, some really lovely news this week is that George, Peppa's little brother, is going to be getting a hearing aid.
That's amazing.
Which may sound like a really small thing, but as someone who is so keen on pushing representation for me, especially with disability, on screen, and especially with young people, this is huge because Peppa Pig is like the biggest cartoon in the world almost. It's everybody knows Peppa Pig. When I used to teach, I used to make my students watch Peppa Pig in Spanish.
Amazing.
And this will, I can't explain to you how much this will do for young people living with deafness, people who wear hearing aids. Because what will happen is children will see George with his hearing aid and it will normalise it and make it just so much more recognisable and commonplace.
Absolutely.
That then those kids, when they see someone who has a hearing aid or a cochlear implant or whatever, they won't be like, oh, what's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it just goes in when they're that age. They just soak it all up. So, it's a small thing, but that will make a massive, massive difference. So
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it raises awareness, doesn't it? It makes it so that, you see it and then it becomes commonplace. Exactly like you said.
And kids, like you said, they're little sponges.
Yeah.
And if you feed them all of the good stuff like that, like if they just see, think normal things, that everything's normal, and I'm really pleased that they're doing it. It's great.
Yeah, I think
Me
it's
too.
great. And I hope that they celebrate the differences when they do the episode, so
Yeah.
that we all celebrate the differences too and that our children do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the episode's airing on Milkshake, which is Channel 5 on the 9th of March, so I can't wait. I haven't watched Peppa Pig in many years, but I am going to watch that one.
Yes, tune in.
And also a little update. We talked about people parking in parent-child bays a while back.
We did.
I believe we discussed when I was called a fishwife by an older lady who parked in one without a child. And there has been a development.
Oh.
Yes. Quite. Tesco. I was expecting a bit more of a ooh, but all right, yeah, better. Thanks, girls. Thanks. Tesco has introduced fines for drivers caught using parking bays without children.
Oh my God.
What do we think about this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's the money going?
Yes.
So if it's
that's a great
going
question.
to like a children's charity or something, but not if it's going to Tesco's, they don't need no more money. They don't need any more of anyone's money. But yeah, if they're like charging people, yeah, I think do it. But as long as the money's going to charity.
Yeah,
because,
nice.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, that's a really good point, Vix.
Yeah.
Children. Yeah, Mr. Tesco doesn't need any more money.
No,
Absolutely not.
like it. Help the children, for sure.
I also think they need to make it clear as well what age. That I think is key because with, obviously Nora's 10 now. She's a very grown up 10. I don't park in children's bays anymore.
No.
But some children's bays you can park in up until they're 12, technically.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, so I think they need to make it very clear on the signage, children up to this age, not just putting a vague pushchair painting on the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that as long as it's incredibly clear, well signposted, and like you said, Vix, that some money is going to a good cause.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And guys, it's my turn to share some hot gossip with you this week.
Cannot wait.
Say what?
I know, but it wasn't overheard in the playground. It was overheard in the gym.
Oh my God.
Nowhere is safe from us.
Always got your ear to the ground. All
Ear to the
times.
ground.
All times.
And it's a good one. Stay tuned for
I
that.
can't wait. And we've got a news story about the head of Ofsted who has some thoughts on the school calendar. Interesting. I have some thoughts too.
Wow, sames. I've also got a voice note from a dad who says he really needs our help. So
We've got you.
yes, wow, we've got you,
yeah.
back. Yeah.
For sure. But first, we're calling it this week Overheard in the Gym. Okay, each week we share something we've overheard or been tipped off about. It's usually surprising and always juicy. So this week, this is actually even better than the gym. This is overheard in the hot tub.
Amazing.
So overheard in the hot tub at the gym, right? So
Love it.
I was just sat there, just having my peaceful time after working out. And there was a couple in there, and they were probably my age, maybe a little bit younger. And they were talking incredibly loudly, right?
Over the bubbles.
That's what it is, Charles, right? People think because there are bubbles, they need to raise their voice. What they don't realise is that people outside of the bubbles get the whole conversation as well. Like, I swear to God, if you want to get some juicy gossip, get yourself in a hot tub on the other side of the bubbles.
That's great.
And you'll hear so much, right? So this couple was sat there and they were like, that one of them said, do you think we should go away on like a, staycation at some point this year? Yeah, no, we absolutely should. Should we invite some other parents, some other families? Yeah, what a great idea. Ooh, but I wouldn't invite the so-and-sos. I'm going to make up some names. I wouldn't invite the Joneses because I really don't like Freddie. He's a bit of a little shit, isn't he? And I was like, and then they basically went through their friends, their groups of friends, and decided whether this family should be invited depending on the child and whether they like the child or not, or if the child was feral. And they were going, oh, well, yeah, no, well, the Smiths, their daughter's so lovely. Yeah, their kids are quite nice, aren't they? Yeah, we should definitely invite them. Yeah, but that's so-and-so, yeah, I just don't know if I could put up with him for a whole weekend.
Oh my God.
And I was sat there on the other side of the hot tub, pretending not to pay attention, in my head thinking, this would be great for the podcast. And I was like, wow. I mean, it's one of those things that sometimes maybe you think, but surely you don't say that out loud, do you? Like, what do you think?
I mean, and also it sounds like a conversation for home.
Yeah.
Not in a public area. Maybe.
Safely behind the walls.
Yes, exactly.
So let me ask you, Vix, how does this make you feel if you we're going on a trip with some friends, like be honest, how does
Luckily,
that,
all of my friends' children are wonderful, so I don't have this problem.
That is such cop out.
God, what a cop out. Do you know what? Yeah, I imagine if you've got a child that is an absolute nightmare, it must be really difficult. And I have got a friend of a friend who they've stopped going away with them because it's just too much when you've spent all of that money going away and then you spend it just exhausted by somebody else's child. But having said that, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because then, like, especially when you've got a big friendship group and you've all got kids, you can't like invite, everyone but the Smiths and the little shit Freddie. It's just gonna, and also it's difficult, isn't it? I don't know. When we all go away together, we all parent each other's kids, and you know, spend time. Sometimes I've spent extra time with the ones who are a little bit more difficult, because it's, you know, somebody else coming into that situation can snap them out of it sometimes. And I don't know. It's, you know, I know it is hard work sometimes, but I don't think it's a nice conversation to have in a hot tub in front of everyone. No. Or yourselves together.
What do you think, Charles?
I agree. I think that they shouldn't be rating people in a hot tub in a public place, because I think that I wouldn't want to go on a holiday with them.
No.
You know, being the me
Valid
knows that they are. That's what I think. But also,
Yes.
I think, would it stop me from going away on a holiday if the kids were a bit of a nightmare? No, because I'd still want to see my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd still want to spend time with them, and in any capacity I can. So I'd go and I'd be like, let's just plan accordingly. So if there was
Yes,
somebody that needed that extra bit of attention, like you were saying, Vix, I'd take all the games I could probably, you know, I could muster, and then I'd just probably do, you know, a lot of that. And if, you know, plan accordingly. But no, it wouldn't stop me from seeing my mates. I just get
And
involved.
if you're that worried about it, you could get separate cabins, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's ways around it. And it's easier going away with one asshole child than it is going away with asshole adults. Like, you know.
So true.
So
true.
There we go.
And I really do think the moral of this story, I'm not judging, but keep those conversations at home. Because I will be listening.
Yeah. Bubbles do not cover the noise. They can hear you in Westbury.
Are not soundproof. Not soundproofed. There we go. I'm sure I'll be back soon with another delightful story from the
Everyone's going to get out of the hot tub as soon as you come in. They'll be like,
be great.
She's here.
I'll have it all to myself.
You can just pretend like you're working out, like with earpods, but then not have them on, and just be like,
just listening. Now it's time for In the News, where we delve into the headlines that matter most to parents, from working out the world of Roblox, buggered if I know, to understanding what obstacle parenting is, which is actually an obstacle in itself. In the Times, we spotted a story about 80s newsreader Jan Leeming, who took to social media to complain about a toddler ruining her lunch whilst out for a friend's birthday. Her original comment on X said, "Perhaps this shows my age. I took a friend as a birthday present to lunch at Pig at Bridge. Not inexpensive. Lovely ambiance. Slightly spoiled by a screaming child at lunch. When I paid and remonstrated, was treated as though I were the one at fault. I'm afraid that if you have children, it's your responsibility to teach them to be socially acceptable." I'm not judging, but this is a tricky one.
It is a tricky one.
It is a tricky one.
I feel like that is a classic clickbaity way of saying something that could have been said in a different way, but she probably wouldn't have got as much kind of shining on her.
Yeah.
And I just think it is a difficult one. I think that parents are responsible to a certain degree. Like, I've spent many a dinner out when the kids were really young, when we've gone out with people. Like, if it gets too much for them, we've left. There's times where I've sat in it and Matt's walked around the harbour side, or, you know, vice versa. And I think it is important not to, you know, ruin everyone around you's time. If your kid is telling you they don't want to be there screaming, listen to him or her.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Charles?
Yeah, I think the same. I completely agree with you. I think that it's a real tricky one, but I know that people say you shouldn't use an iPad or something like that, but if things are difficult and you've got a meal in front of you, I have absolutely done that before and said, can you just watch this a minute whilst I'm finishing my meal, because you don't want to upset the people around you. But then at the same time, you know, there are places where you would go that are geared up for children.
Definitely.
And then there are places that aren't just adult only, but then you would kind of see as maybe a venue where you wouldn't necessarily go if you knew that your kids couldn't cope with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I remember an experience where my parents wanted to take us out for a really fancy meal, and the kids were really young. And I was like, this is the worst mistake. We're just not going to have a good time. It's not going to go well. And I probably spent about 3 minutes sat down, and the rest of the time I was on constant entertainment mode because I was really conscious of the other diners. So yeah, I agree completely with you, Vix. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you've totally hit there, Char. What I was going to say is we don't know the circumstances of that family. Like you say, they might be there under duress by other family members. You know, they felt that they had to go because it was a special event, or, you know, nobody is going to want to take their child to a restaurant, an expensive restaurant, and sit there and listen to their child screaming. Like, nobody actively wants that.
No.
It's an absolute nightmare as a parent when your child's having a meltdown and all you want to do is curl up in a ball and hide, or take the child away, like you say, Vix, like just take the child out and get the child out. So I think it takes patience from people who don't have the children for the parents or the carers. But also, you know, if you've got a toddler there, they are your responsibility. So sometimes you just have to say, do you know what? I'm just going to go home.
Yeah, I gave it a go.
But also, like you said, I think the people, you don't, like I said before, you don't want to spoil everyone's meal around you. But also, we live in a society with children, and they are part of our society and our lives. And I always have taken ours out, and like, not just kind of taken them away from situations if I've thought it's too much, but like, you know, I've walked them around the restaurant, showed them the restaurant, and like tried to, you know, sit down and, you know, give them an experience of eating in a restaurant. And I think it is important that they have those experiences if you can. But you just need to use your common sense, don't you? And if enough is enough for them, then it has to be enough. You know, and it's home time.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of those things, like, before social media, you might have complained to your mate about it. Yeah. And then that would have been the end of it. But now it's like, I must put it on social media to get everyone else's opinion. And
this
like
is it, isn't
you
it?
said, and get clickbait and get some attention.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, does this really... Do you really need to put it on social media?
Yeah.
Because if that family then sees it, they're going to feel pretty awful.
Family.
I think the restaurant was right to be on the side of the family. If you're going to a restaurant that you know accepts kids, depending on the time of day, that kind of thing, it's just part of life.
Children
exist.
And what would you have the restaurant do? Say, please may you leave? Absolutely not. No.
Do you know what? I've got a little story. So basically, when Daisy was 18 months old, Matt took me away and her, because I didn't want to leave her, to Paris, and he was going to propose. Well, he did end up proposing, but there was many failed attempts and a couple from Daisy. So basically, we went to a district where Amelie, that beautiful film, was filmed, and we went into the cafe where Amelie worked, and it was so beautiful. We sat down and had like crepes and everything, and we were like, you know, doing drawing with her. She's 18 months old. We got out her little toys and stuff, and then she loved this like plastic Captain America, and you know what it's like when they're little. It's like lots of little things, and you know, just trying to keep her busy. And then all of a sudden, I just took my eye off her for 1 second, and she just lobbed it, and it hit a man in the head, and then fell in his soup next to us. And I was just like, oh my god. And Matt was just like, I'm so sorry. And they were like, it's okay. And I was just like, we need to go.
And he was like, I'm trying to propose. And you had no idea.
Exactly.
And you were just there with the Captain America.
No, just with the soupy Captain America. And then we were just like, okay, bye, thank you, quickly.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Oh.
Bless them.
Oh, love them.
Also, it's definitely a generational thing, because I know that, like, from our parents' generation, you know, when the kids were little, they expected the kids to sit down and have a full meal at the table and not get down and get up again.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't the case. And you just forget, don't you? You just forget, because obviously your kids are having kids. So you just forget what it's like.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, just no more. I'm not enforcing it because I was conscious that the kids weren't sitting down and getting through a whole meal. And I'd be, because they'd give the eye and be like, they're not sitting down and having their full meal. And I would be conscious of it. And then I just got to the point where I was like, if they want to get up and walk about and have a movement break, off they go. And that's absolutely fine. If they eat their food and their belly is full, I am happy. We can carry on our conversation, pretend like it's not taking place, and they can just get up, look around, sit back down again. It's not causing any harm.
Yeah.
Defo.
Amen. Now, for our next story, it's been reported that the head of Ofsted, Sir Martin Oliver, has suggested it's time to rethink the school year, including potentially shortening the 6-week summer holiday. Speaking to the Financial Times, he said the current structure was originally designed around harvest seasons, calling some elements pretty bizarre, and says that our school children are in school for a ridiculously low percentage of the year. So should the UK school holidays be shortened, or is the 6-week summer break a well-deserved, needed break? I'm not judging, but surely there are bigger issues that need to be solved.
Yes, Briony!
Before you start looking at the summer holidays.
Can I just say,
Go on.
I don't think that they should change shorten the summer holidays, but I just think that they should make it so that the working parent can take it too. I mean, not the whole 6 weeks off. I'm not saying that, but
She might go insane.
I just think, could we make it so that I'm not giving my full wage to some summer holiday club? Could we just even it out? Because annual leave, it's basically, I know I've said this before, but I am a parrot on repeat because it's the same. So my husband's annual leave, my annual leave, can we squeeze in a week together as a family?
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, we're just ships in the night, tagging each other in to look after the kids, or paying somebody else to do it. So could we, I know that there's flexible working, but you've still got to be seen to show up. You've still got to do these things. Could we look at that one? Look at that bit.
Yes. Well, like Bryce said, it's definitely, I think we've got other things to worry about than the length of the holidays that have been the same for forever. Like change the curriculum, make it a place that they want to go, more provisions for SEN, like better pay for teachers. There's so many things. I just think once again, we're being our eyes are being diverted to this when there's just so much else that they should be dealing with.
Like teachers are flying out of the profession. I mean, I'm one of them. I used to be a teacher and I'm not anymore for whatever reason. And I loved my job, but people don't stay in it because it's a really hard job to do. And if you're going to tell them that they're not going to get the 6-week summer, which is basically one of the main draws that will bring people into teaching, because you work so ridiculously hard in term time that when it comes to the holidays, you need that break. I just don't think you're going to attract any teachers if you're going to tell them that they're going to go from having a 6-week summer holiday to a 3-week one, 2-3 weeks. I just don't see that going well.
It's ridiculous.
And attendance is at the minute is awful. There's a national crisis. So telling kids they've got to go into school for longer.
Oh
my
Can
gosh,
you imagine?
it would break both of mine. It would absolutely break both of mine.
And then for having that punishment that they do for non-attendance.
It feels like they're channeling their energy towards something that isn't where the fix needs to be.
Yes, exactly.
There's like a million fixes that they should and could do that would make the life better for children at school, and instead they've gone, I know, let's make the summer holidays shorter. No, nobody wants that. There was also an interesting comment on Mumsnet. One reader was saying that we have a longer academic year than most other countries, and we still perform worse than many in international tables because of the outdated curriculum. So
start there then.
Start there,
please.
I'd love to hear our listeners' comments on this because, so many people might think, oh, great, get the kids in school for longer. Like you were saying, Charlie, it would help with, with having to take off less time because the kids would be in school more. But then on the other side, how are your kids going to feel about being in school?
I don't think
that much longer.
I think that work should just reflect a bigger annual leave.
Yeah. I mean, Nora's a shell at the end of each half term.
Oh, yeah, they need it. They need the break.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do the teachers. I can attest to that. Now it's time for Between You and Me, where listeners share their parenting dilemmas and we chip in with their unqualified advice. First off, we have a voice note from Kenneth in Hertfordshire.
Hi ladies, I would really love some of your unqualified advice. I've got 2 kids who I love dearly, and whilst I want to give them everything they want in the world, from gifts to the best experiences and holidays, I'm finding the line between loving them and potentially spoiling them starting to blur. Most of the time they're really good kids, but sometimes they are so unappreciative. Please, could you share any advice on how I teach them to be a bit more grateful? Because my methods are currently not working. Thank you.
Oh, Kenneth, what a great question, isn't it?
That's such a great question.
Is.
And
bless him. It's really hard.
It is. I feel like I'm constantly battling, trying to make sure that Nora is grateful.
I had this exact conversation with Gareth the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Because
Tell us.
I think that it's of that generation, because I think we worry so much, like, oh, are they okay? You know, are we providing this? Are we looking after them, their mental health, all of this? Whereas like when we were kids, none of that was about. Like that was just, you just got on with life. You know, my parents didn't know half the stuff I was going through or what was happening and so forth. So I think that our generation are like trying to fix that almost, or trying to overcompensate for that. And then now we've got to the point where we're like, oh, ungrateful little shits. You know?
We've gone past trying to help to like, hang on a minute.
How good you've got it, you know, because we have tried to provide such a safe environment and a loving environment and a state, you know, mental stability and all of that, that we've gone the other way. Yeah.
But I think Kenneth sounds like a lovely, loving dad.
Yeah.
And he's obviously super aware of not wanting to make them spoilt and, you know, bring them up being grateful. So, Kenneth, I reckon, have the conversation with them about, you know, money and what things cost and how it's good to save up for things, and not everything is instantaneous, which I think is half the problem as well, is everything's so instant. You can get some off of Amazon delivered tomorrow, or internet's super fast, everything's fast, and we get everything we need all the time. And I think, you know, teaching kids about like saving up for things and saying no, but if you want to save for it with your pocket money and you want to earn that by doing a bit around the house or
I was going to say
whatever,
the chores,
then do it like that. So we have all been guilty of it, I'm sure, girls. I even had over the half term, I was out and there was a little stall down in the harbour side, and my nephew and Prim were both like, oh, they want everything. You know what they're like. She just looked at the store and they were like, oh, and this guy was like, do you want these are from Africa, and they were lovely, these bits of jewellery, and 3 for a tenner, and they both looked at me. I was like, okay. And even Daisy went, Mum, you do realise that no is a complete sentence. Like, you just could have said no. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I know. So it's like, it's really difficult because you want to kind of make their little faces
their
light
joy.
up.
And you like my love language, or one of my love languages, is giving, like gifting.
Yes,
I love.
You are very good at gifting.
You are giving people things, and I love that, and it brings me such joy. It's like when I buy something for someone, I can't wait until it's their birthday or whatever. Like I found Charlotte a jacket in the charity shop the other day, and I was like, I can't wait to give it to her till December. I have to give it to her now because that makes me happy. So you know, giving stuff to Nora makes me happy.
Yeah.
But I think I do the same. I remind her a lot, like, you know, do you understand how lucky you are? And, you know, if she even shows even a little bit of ingratitude, I will come down quite hard on her. If she starts acting, you know, and she does sometimes get like, oh, okay. But if she comes down and sort of says, you know, whines at me because I'm not going to get her something, or, you know, just starts acting a bit bratty, I come down quite hard and will, you know, take something away, or, you know, restrict something, or, you know, really kind of come down hard on her. And then she's like, oh, okay, I clearly overstepped the line, because I never want her to, you know, ever think, oh, yeah, great, all of this stuff, I completely am owed it and, you know, feel self-entitled and all that kind of stuff. I just do not want that. And she is an incredibly kind, giving soul.
She is
and we often do stuff with, you know, for charity. So, you know, she sees me do a lot with charity, and I think that really help her understand how lucky she is.
Yeah,
when you say, right, why don't we do this for charity? These families don't have enough of this, this and this. So we're going to go and help out. And then it kind of hopefully kind of helps her recalibrate in her mind actually how lucky we are.
That's a really good point, bro. I think that and we do the same, like talking to them about people that aren't as privileged and lucky as they are, and making them aware, age appropriate, obviously. But things like the food bank, and like Prim's really keen, like every month she's like, can we do a little shop, or like we look at the list of things that they need. And, you know, I think Kenneth could introduce something like that as well, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And it's quite straightforward, you know, thing to implement, because we all do our weekly shop. We all go to the shops, do you know what I mean? And it's something that you can encourage them and even get them to spend their money on it. You know, if I said to Nora, we're going to go and you're going to spend £10 of your money shopping for the food bank, she'd be like, okay, you know, because it's showing that you're going to give something back.
Definitely.
And then they will feel that, won't they? They will feel how they've helped and helped somebody else, definitely. Yeah. And what you were saying earlier about, you know, pocket money, and it's what I always try to do as well is have them walk a mile in my shoes a little bit. You know, if they can help out with the laundry, emptying the dishwasher, something like that, where they can earn a bit of pocket money and help around the house, then they know that it's not just coming easily. You know, we all have to put in a little bit to get the, you know, the house tidy or the laundry done or what have you. I think it's really helpful in that way. I also read somewhere as well that if you play board games with children, it helps to take turns and for sharing. And if somebody wins or somebody loses, then you have to regulate and be happy for that person if they've won or if you've lost or what have you. I've heard that playing board games is a really good. Yeah.
That is
Charlie
great.
Swooping in with the great advice.
I love it. Here she is. The wise owl.
The wise owl. Because you know what? I think that's so true, Charles, because Nora used to really struggle when she lost at a board game. But over the last few years, her and Steve play them quite regularly. And I'd say now she's so much better at losing than she was a few years ago. So I think that's great advice. Great. We really hope that helps, Kenneth. Let us know how you get on. Best of luck with it. If there's a parenting drama or dilemma you want our unqualified wisdom on, then send us a DM or voice note on Instagram. You'll find us at I'm Not Judging But Pod. And don't forget, you can catch us on YouTube and Spotify. We have a special announcement first though, Vicky.
Yes, I just wanted to say a very, very happy birthday to my lovely friend Kat, who is in Cork. She moved back there a couple of years ago, but she listens every week. I love you, Kat, and I can't wait for our weekend away. Happy birthday!
Oh, amazing. Thanks so much, gorgeous girlies. I love you lots. I'll see you next week.
I love you.
Bye.